We are coming to you from US Cellular Field, where tonight Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Alex Rios, Gordon Beckham and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Evan Longoria and Joe Madden's first place, Tampa Bay Rays. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you the first of this three-game set and the first of this six-game homestand. Three with these guys and then finish it off three against the Mariners. So the Sox coming off just an awful road trip. You know, everything was looking pretty good because we split the 4 games in Toronto, something we hadn't done in a long time. But then we go to play a team in Cleveland that had lost 5 out of their last 6 ball games, and they swept us. So we come in at 4-9. Tampa Bay is 10-3, a half game of first place in the East. And tonight, a couple of pretty good left-handers out on that bump.
We couldn't have a better man going to the mound than John Danks. He's 1-0 with a minuscule ERA. But more important than that, this Ray team doesn't do very well against left-handed starters. In fact, they're 28th in all of baseball in futility against the left-handers. Also, John Danks can control that running game, which for the Rays is very important. David Price going to the mound for the Rays. He's 2-0, throwing the ball exceptionally well. Lifetime, he's 12-7. This guy's got overwhelming stuff, so we'll have to see tonight if the offense comes to life. Hawk and I, we're wearing our victory red, so let's get one tonight.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
US Cellular Field, the start of a 3-game series, and the start of this homestand will hopefully turn things around for the White Sox. Hi, everybody. I'm Chuck Garfien. If you're upset about the White Sox 4-9 start, well, safe to say the White Sox players feel your pain. This is not the start they wanted, being in last place, 5 games out already. And leave it to the manager, Ozzie Guillen, to put the whole thing in perspective before the game.
It's one people not to be angry with me that her name is Iris Cardenas Guillen. Because she get angry with me, that's going to cost me a lot of money. That's it. My wife. Everybody out, I care less they like me or not, because I don't. If the fans mad at me, well, just do one thing. Just figure out how many people we hold here. 50,000 people? I invite all 50,000 people, please come here and boo me, because at least we're going to have people in the stands. You know what I mean? They booed me before. They hate me before. I'm not an easy guy. Some people like me, some people hate me. There's nothing between. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, that's the way it is.
Well, Kenny Williams did not go on the road trip to Toronto or Cleveland, but he certainly watched the games on television. Before the game, he was very calm, very practical about the White Sox start to this season. He believes his team is going to turn this whole thing around. And I asked Kenny, does he think Chicago fans, Chicago media are sometimes a little too hypersensitive about the baseball teams here in Chicago?
Well, I'm really not one. You guys know me too well for me to be critical of hypersensitive fans the way I watch baseball games and care about what's going on a day-to-day basis. But, that's what you can't have it both ways. If you have a passionate fan base, you have to be prepared for a heightened sense of urgency or worry when things don't go your way, just as you're the beneficiary of extreme excitement when it does go your way. So you've got to take the good and the bad with that. And right now, everyone's a little upset at the way we're playing, so are we.
And Kenny says normally it's around 60 games when he knows what he's got for a team, although if they're not playing good after 60 games, well, he knows a little bit before the 60 are played. All right, the Sox and Rays getting set to play here on Comcast Sportsnet. Hawk and Steve will have the call next.
Anniversary of Jackie Robinson's first game for the Brooklyn Dodgers back in 1947. For the game tonight, the White Sox Amateur City Elite team took the field wearing number 42. Jeremiah Anderson, a member of the 13 and under City Elite team, threw out the ceremonial first pitch. From all of us at the White Sox, we honor and say thank you, Jackie, for your courageous and heroic actions in bringing Major League Baseball to young men of all backgrounds. The Tampa Bay lineup. The first place Rays start with Bartlett, Crawford, Zobrist, Longoria hitting fourth, and Pena, Upton, Burrell, Navarro, and Kapler in right field and hitting ninth. The Jimmy John defense. Left to right, Pierre Rios and Quinton. In the infield, Tian, Ramirez, Beckham, and Konerko. A.J. Przinsky behind the plate. And the Toyota starting pitcher is John Danks. 2 starts. He's been brilliant. He's 1-0, ERA 138, 13 innings, 10 hits. And this Ray team is hitting only 188 against left-hand pitchers. So we're ready for our first pitch, and I'm ready to turn it over to Hawk Harrelson.
All right, Stone Pony, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball as Johnny Dank's first pitch taken off the plate, says Joe West. Bartlett comes in hitting at 245. No homers. He's driven in 5. And the count 2-0. Last year, these two teams played 8 games. Sox won 6 of them. Tampa Bay 84 and 78 in 09 as there's a strike. And the count 2-1.
After a 3-3 homestand, they have won 7 in a row on the road.
That's a 10-game road trip for them. They swept Baltimore, went to Boston for 4, swept the Carmines, and now they're here. 3-1 pitch. There's the strike. Full count. Bartlett last year hit 320, 14 homers, and drove in 66. And the payoff.
Talked to Joe Madden about Bartlett. Get down in the order last year. He had B.J. Upton in the 1 spot. He said that Upton had some problems. He's put Bartlett up there. He likes the offense with him. And there you look at Joe.
He gone. 1 down.
Falling behind 3-1, John Danks battles back, threads a needle on the inside corner, and retires one of their base stealers.
Here's a man that stole 60 of them last year, Carl Crawford. He's hitting at 304, a homer. He's driven in 9. High and deep, and way back, and it is 1-0 Tampa Bay.
Second home run of the year for Crawford. He's now driven in 10. And that one was a no doubt. He got a hold of a first ball, high fastball, and hit it a mile. You can see A.J. wanted it outside. John got it up and on the inner portion. That one went a long way.
Here's the second baseman, switch hitting Ben Zobrist. Hitting at 245, no homers. He's driven in 6. And that's the first home run that Danks has thrown this year. And it was a Jim Dandy.
If you're going to throw them, don't throw cheapies. You threw that one a long way.
Yeah, that was not a cheapie. Outfield about equidistant, spread out slightly to the left. And the count 3-0. Don't walk him. Come back and get him. And here at beautiful US Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center. There's one. Zobrist had a terrific season last year. 297, 27 homers, and drove in 91. And a full count.
In the on-deck circle, one of the best around, Evan Longoria.
Little comebacker on the changeup.
There you look at the early part of the year. 7-0 road trip. The starters have been absolutely brilliant. With runners in scoring position, they lead the major leagues, and they will try to run you out of the ballpark.
Here's Longoria hitting at 298, takes a strike. He has 3 homers. He's driven in 12 on a 6-game hitting streak. And very quickly to count 0-2. Longoria lifetime against Johnny Danks. Faced him 6 times, has 1 hit. And Danks getting it and throwing it. You like to see that from Johnny. And that's up high. He gone. But the home run, the long home run by Crawford after half inning of play. It's Tampa Bay 1 and the good guys coming to bat.
Start with Juan Pierre, then Gordon Beckham, Carlos Quentin, Paul Konerko, Andrew Jones, the DH, A.J. Pierzynski, Alex Rios, Mark Tien, and Alexi Ramirez hitting 9. The Jimmy John defense and how they'll line up. Left to right, Crawford, Upton, and Kapler in the infield. Longoria, Bartlett, Zobrist, and Pena. Donner Navarro behind the plate. And the Toyota starting pitcher is David Price. He's 2-0. Fine ERA of 2.45. As you can see, right-handers have done very little with him, but left-handers have given him some problems. So perhaps Pierre and AJ, along with Mark Tien, can do some damage tonight.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. Pierre comes in hitting at 208. No homers, he's driven in 1. Corners in close. Outfield spread out. As there's ball 1 from the 6'6" left-hander. Price, 24 years old, 225 pounds, out of Nashville. Bartlett. 1 out. Right now, let's check out our picks to click tonight. Jim Angio, our director and crew, went with Rios. Steve's going to Andrew Jones. And Jeanette and Gene and I are going to go with Paul Konerko. Here's Beckham. Takes first pitch strike. And that's outside.
Price has a big fastball. Can get it up there 95, 96 if he wants to, but as a starting pitcher, pitches comfortably 93, 94.
And the count 2-1.
He was the first pick in the country in the June 2007 draft.
Fouls that pitch back, so the count 2-2. It's full.
You might remember the World Series in 2008 where the Rays made it all the way there. And Price worked out of the bullpen in what was his first full season in professional baseball.
And that's popped up right side. And it's going to be playable. Kapler gets there. Foul ground. And that's out number 2. That'll bring up Carlos Quentin. Carlos hitting at 200. A couple of homers. He's driven in 11.
Carlos is in the middle of a cold streak. Hopefully he can turn that around on his homestand.
Takes up high, ball 1. Carlos has been one of those streaks that hitters get into. Where you swing at the first pitch, you hit it. Most of the time you're going to hit a little ground ball left side. Getting one of those streaks, it's hard to be patient. And to count 3-0. Turn him loose.
This starting rotation has been one of the most successful. They've averaged 6 2/3 innings per start as a rotation.
Well, that's shades of 08. And there's ball 4. That's what won the division, the American League pennant. In 2008, their starters kept their bullpen fresh all season.
And if you can do that, certainly it's really going to help. A.P. Howell, one of the guys instrumental in that year, has been hurt. He's not coming back, they don't believe, till the end of May.
So here's Konerko. Paulie at 214, 4 homers. He's driven in 8. He's faced Price 3 times, has 2 hits, one of which stayed in the park. Takes that one down low.
Navarro coming out to settle down Price as he's missed 5 straight. It's a time for a veteran hitter. Thinking about maybe a young pitcher on the mound taking a little something off to get the ball over the plate. Looking fastball middle in. And taking a pretty good swing. What you saw was Joe Madden, the skipper of the team. And on his side, Davey Martinez, who is the bench coach.
And one of the best guys to ever put on a pair of spikes, Davey Martinez.
He's a good player, played a long time.
And a wonderful person.
I think eventually he's going to be a very good manager because he's learning from a guy who knows the game backwards and forwards.
1-2 the count to Paulie. So the 34-year-old Konerko against the 24-year-old Price. That ball hit deep into right field. Stretch! Stretch! He looks up and it's off the wall. They're going to wave Quentin around. Ball gets away from everybody. He'll score, and this game is tied at 1.
You don't usually see Tampa Bay do that, but they missed the cutoff. And as it rolled through, it became very easy for Carlos Quentin to score. This fastball up and away, Paulie just misses hitting it out. Kapler goes in to get it. Now, if he does hit the cutoff man, they've got a shot.
They've got a good shot.
But that ball bounds away. Zobrist can't handle it. Pena can't handle it. And it just trickles into the infield.
So Jeanette Rogosic and Gene Smith picked a click. The RBI double. This is his second 2-bagger, his 9th RBI. And here, Andrew Jones. Yes, upstairs. That at 97.
Andrew was looking first ball fastball. Unfortunately, he got one up in an area that he's not going to catch up to.
Count evens at 1. Andrew has 1 hit and 5 at bats off Price, and it was a home run. Gap out there in left center. And a count. 2 balls and a strike. Got to make him get it down.
He places the first pitch, same result. 97-mile-an-hour fastball up and out of the zone.
Guys like Fausto Carmona picked up the victory against us on Sunday. Got to make him get it up. David Price got to make him get it down. Well, he is throwing a lot of pitches. Two out, and the payoff pitch. High into center field. Upton is there, but the 2 out. RBI double by Konerko ties this game at 1. On Comcast Sportsnet at 5:30, the Bulls battle LeBron and the Cavs. At 7 on CSN Plus, the Blackhawks take on the Predators. And meanwhile on CSN Plus 2, it's the Sox and Rays series final, Bulls, Hawks, Sox. We've got all 3 this Thursday starting at 5:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. 1-1 tie here in the second inning. Pena, Upton, and Burrell face Johnny Danks. Carlos Pena comes in hitting at .273, 4 homers. He's driven in 12. Breaking ball out in front.
Pena has a classic uppercut swing. He's got tremendous power. And he combines that with just a great glove at first base. It's a pretty good man to have on the club, especially in the middle of your lineup.
He's dangerous. He made one of those transformations that really were eye-popping. Can't get that breaking ball.
I was with a couple of teams and did okay, but nothing great. The Sox actually have held him down pretty well.
Well, he started off with Texas, then went to Oakland. And when he was with Oakland, he didn't impress you that much at all with his power. I mean, you watch him take batting practice, didn't impress you at all with his powers. That's just off the outside corner. And then he went down to the minor leagues. He came back with the Tigers. And all of a sudden you watch this guy take batting practice. And he looked like a different person. He was hitting balls 450, 460. And since that time, he has had the big power. And occasionally that happens. White Sox had a player like that a long time ago. Came over from the National League. Dick Allen. Richie and I played against each other coming up the minor leagues, and he couldn't hit the ball. His best ball was 400 feet. Then all of a sudden we go to spring training one year down in Clearwater. He's with the Phillies, and I'm watching this guy take batting practice, and he doesn't watch him from the back. I said, boy, that swing looks like Richie's. But he's hitting him in the light towers. And I said, that's not him. So I went up by the cage. Sure enough, it was him. So he takes his turn, goes around the bases, comes back, comes over. Hawk, how you doing? I said, Dick, it's Richie. What you been lifting weights? He said, no, I just grew up.
Boy, he did grow up too.
Pretty good pitch, didn't get it.
I think both AJ and John wanted that one. Joe West didn't give it to him. That ball was blowing away.
And the payoff.
Last year, he had 39 home runs. He drove in 100. Another good, solid season. He's not going to hit for average anymore, but to be one of those guys that will lull you to sleep and then hit one 450.
Jazz got a piece of it. He's going to strike out an awful lot. Last year, 163 strikeouts. 08, 166. 07, 142. But when he barrels it up, you can put it on the board.
He's got a real interesting plastic shield on his left hand.
Checks it up, fouls it off. So the count hangs at 3 balls, 2 strikes.
See it right there. Now you can see the padded glove on the right hand, but he has the plastic padding on the left hand.
And there's the leadoff walk. Those leadoff walks have been jumping up and biting us right in the behind.
And you can see the padded glove on the bottom hand, but that real good plastic protection on his left hand, his top hand.
B.J. Upton hitting at 234. 4 homers. He's driven in 11. Upton's been around a while. He's only 25 years old as he takes strike 1. Last year hit 241, 11 homers, and knocked in 55, which is not a good year for him. But he also stole 42 bases. As there's another strike, and the count 0-2.
He and his brother Justin both #1 draft choices.
He gone. Breaking ball. That didn't take long.
Apparently he didn't believe Joe West when he called the first couple. That time he cut the ball inside. AJ did a nice job of actually framing it and easing it back over the corner.
So here's the designated hitter, Pat Burrell, hitting at 270 with a homer and 5 knocked in.
The Rays think that Burrell is one of their keys to doing some damage to left-hand pitchers. They come in 28th in all of baseball against left-handers, 188. When Burrow's right, he can hit it a long way also.
And I check it up. Well, this year they're 2-2 against left-handed starters. But a lot of times that does not give you an indication of what bodes down the road. High into left field. Juan Pierre is there. 2 down.
Sox fans, stay up to date on your favorite team with White Sox On Demand. Press 999 on your Comcast DVR to tune into White Sox On Demand for exclusive videos, game replays, and more.
The catcher, switch hitting, Deanna Navarro. Had a bad season for him last year, hitting at .218, 3 homers. He drove in 32. Takes fastball strike. Had a good season in 08, hit .295, 7 homers, and drove in 54. They got him picked off. He gone. And that'll retire the side. Nothing across. He pitches over the leadoff wall.
Move. Pena decides that it's a good time to try to steal second base. Johnny Danks picks him off. It goes 1, 3, 4, and out of the inning.
So AJ will lead it off. He'll be followed by Rios and Tien. Face David Price. AJ comes in hitting at 171. Off to a slow start for him offensively.
He'll start picking it up when he starts to use left center field. It's normally how it works.
Not a good swing. Outfield about equidistant, spread out slightly to the left. And the count 0-2.
Well, they've got tremendous speed in left and center. Kepler has adequate speed in right. That was quick.
AJ saying something to West. And Joe, of course, you can't do that. He doesn't like that.
No, Joe believes that I think most of the people are here to watch him. That ball looked like it was off the plate. AJ thought it was off the plate by a good 3-4 inches.
Alex Rios hitting at 265, a couple of homers. He's driven in 6.
It's really tough for a catcher who comes up to hit to do a whole lot of arguing with an umpire, because he's got to try to get the pitches for his pitcher.
Well, probably in that conversation, that dialogue they just had, he probably told him, hey, just give my guy the same pitch.
If he does that, it's going to be a good night for Johnny Danks.
Well, Joe's the one that wants the game shortened down. He was the one to criticize Yankees and Red Sox games on how they own. The only way you're going to shorten up games is one way, the umpires. As that ball hit deep into right center field. Stretch, get on back there. And it's off the fence. Yeah, he's going to give it a go as they overthrew the cutoff man. Here's a throw. Safe. Now he's going to go in as the ball went into the camera well. Sox lead at 2-1.
Well, that's a couple of defensive miscues from a team that doesn't make too many defensive mistakes. Once again, the missed cutoff man and then the errant throw. So Rios, with good speed, decides to test the outfield. And once again, it's Kapler on the front end. Well, this time, Upton gets it. And Alex figures, might as well go for it. The problem was that Alex's helmet and the baseball got to the same spot at the same time, and Longoria got shielded.
So there'll be an error on Bartlett. Tien takes a strike. We're getting back to the speed pace of the games. The only person who can speed up the baseball game is the umpire. He has control of the game. He has control of the strike zone. As he goes through that one. So if they want the game speeded up, call some strikes. Tien at 267, a homer. He's driven in 4. That's high into left field. And it's out number 2. Funny thing about it is the players, the hitters, after a while of that, it's sure at first if they were to expand the strike zone now and call more strikes, the hitters would be upset. But after a while, they would make adjustments and they would become accustomed to it, and everything would be copacetic.
Well, it's the inconsistency of the strike zone that I think drives hitters crazy from one ump to the next. Stay consistent all game, and you probably were not going to hear a lot from the hitters.
No, I've seen guys, as you've pitched to guys who had strike zones, as long as it was high enough or low enough, it was a strike. We've hit against guys like that, and you become, all you want to know is he going to be consistent with it. 1-1 to count to Alexei. That ball hit in the center field. Upton is back there right in front of the track. But the triple throwing error by Bartlett. Sox lead at 2-1. For the third inning, 2-2-0 for our guys, 1-1-1 for their guys. Morrow was at the plate. Carlos Pena took off, and they picked him off, and Canerco made the throw to Beckham, and he put it on it. First pitch strike. Navarro's hit Danks well, 5 for 11. And that's into left field. That's Canerco. One out. And right now, let's check out our Comcast Sportsnet Chicago.com/US Cellular text poll question. It is: who is the best team in the American League East? A, the Blue Jays. B, the Rays. C, the Red Sox. D, the Yankees. Text A, B, C, or D to 53695, and we will update the results later in the game. Veteran Gabe Kapler steps in. Takes ball one. Kapler hitting at 200, no homers. He's driven in one.
He was the man who hit the ball, but Dwayne Wise went and brought back into the field of play in the perfect game.
What a catch.
What a catch for a guy inserted defensively just that inning.
Well, as shallow as Dwayne plays, when the ball was hit, I didn't think he had a prayer of getting back to it. And then as the ball was in the air, you could see him kick it in another gear, which that adrenaline will do. He got there, jumped, got the glove on it, bobbled it coming down, and hung on to it.
Just amazing.
High pop up. And if you missed that catch back on the 23rd of July, see where how shallow he was? Now look how far he's got to go. For the drama, it's the best catch I've ever seen.
In the situation it was in.
The drama.
Yeah, that was just sensation.
Of course, that's the only time I've ever seen a perfect game, and the only time I've ever seen a situation like that. So the drama of the scenario, best I've ever seen. I saw the catch that Willie Mays made off Vic Wirtz in the Polo Grounds in '54, which everybody has seen that over the years. There's a chopper, fair ball, got a backhanded plant peg, and they get it. Nice play by Tien. A 1-2-3 inning for Danks, and he leads at 2-1. After the game, stay tuned for U.S. Cellular White Sox postgame live. Big Hurt Frank Thomas, Chuck Garfien, and Bill Melton deliver highlights and expert analysis, plus go live to Ozzy's postgame remarks. Don't miss U.S. Cellular White Sox postgame live immediately following the game on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Pretty good effort by Martian. Good scoop by Paulie. And they're able to cut down Bartlett by right around a half a step. Good call. Coming by Angel Hernandez.
Fakes the bunt, takes the ball, does Juan Pierre. Grounded out to Bartlett. 2-1, good guys on top. First of a 3-game set. And the count evens at 1.
These are tough corners to bunt out. Both Longoria and Pena are great defenders.
There's only one way you can be a great defender, and that's by being aggressive.
And both of them are just that.
That's exactly right.
Evan has an interesting style because he just absorbs the baseball.
One man out. You have to be aggressive. As we talked before, most aggressive first baseman. I've seen some terrific first base in the last 50 years. Jeff Bagwell was as aggressive as anybody who ever played that position. There's some of you youngsters up there. He was out there wondering who Jeff Bagwell is. He was a first baseman for the Astros for years and years.
He was the guy that Boston decided they couldn't live without Larry Anderson, so they traded a young third baseman to Houston. That young third baseman was Bagwell, who went on to become a great first baseman.
Well, never out in front of the mound. Navarro's got plenty of time. Takes it, makes it 2 down. I remember when that deal was made. The Hall of Fame outfielder for the Red Sox, Carl Yastrzemski. In all the years I've known Carl, it's the first time I've ever seen him go berserk.
Was he thought Bagwell was going to be that good a hitter?
Yeah.
He was right.
Yeah. He went crazy.
I've never seen a guy, and you might have, Hawk, because you've seen a lot more hitters than I have, but I've never seen a guy that actually stepped backwards and hit. He's the
first guy to do it.
His front foot came backwards, and he hit.
That pitch is outside. I wish I had seen somebody do that, because you have to have incredibly strong hands to be able to hit that way, and Bagwell had those kind of hands. But he was the first guy to ever. He's actually the one that started the toe tap because of that move.
I've seen a lot of guys lift up their front foot, put it back down in the same spot. As long as they have their foot down, then the hands can come through. But Bagwell, actually, when you looked at it, brought it backwards and still was able to hit it as far as anybody.
2-1 pitch. Breaking ball, good. That's one he's thrown tonight thus far.
It's been the big difference with Price as he's gotten a little older, a little stronger, and a little wiser as a pitcher, is finishing off the breaking ball.
Comes back with some gas at 96, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. First time he's had one of those.
Is brought to you by the fourth meal from Taco Bell. Open 1 a.m. or later.
Two-one Sox on top here in the top of the fourth inning. Crawford, Zobrist, and Longoria to face Johnny Danks. Carl Crawford swings at that breaking ball. That's just the second pitch he's seen from Danks in these two at-bats. First one was a fastball up and in. He hit a country mile.
He was just guessing first ball fastball was going to swing wherever it was the first time up, and that time John Danks threw him the breaking ball. Looked like a different hitter. The question for Tampa Bay is, will they be able to keep Carl Crawford, and will he want to stay there because he's going to be a free agent?
Well, since the market has softened a bit, it'll be interesting.
Well, if everybody that I've heard actually goes there, the Yankees are going to have 50 players next year. Every time you hear somebody's going to be a free agent, they said, oh, well, he's going to be with the Yankees.
We've been hearing that for years and years and years.
They've got 25 spots. He does fit well in their left field, but I think Tampa Bay is going to make a big effort to keep him.
Well, you like to see guys, which is very rare today, play their whole career with one club. It adds some stability to the organization. As that pitch misses, in account 2-2.
Well, Minnesota had to go to $184 million to keep Joe Mauer, to make sure that he was going to be there for a long time.
That's looped out into left center field. Pierre is there. 1 out.
Here's our AT&T trivia question. What Rays player is the all-time franchise leader in games played?
So here's Zobrist. Hit a little comebacker to Danks. First pitch strike.
You were talking about Pena going down the minor leagues, coming back, being a power hitter. Joe Madden was telling me the same thing about Ben Zobrist. So they sent him down the minor leagues, and he came back. And all of a sudden, that slap hitter that they sent down wasn't there anymore. Zobrist decided he was going to play. And he was a jack of all trades. That's what's kept him around. But all of a sudden, he decided to hit the ball with a little more authority, to quit slapping at it and actually take good, solid swings. And now he's their number 3 hitter.
Well, you don't see that happen that often. In fact, ironically, a lot of times they'll send down guys who have good power, but are striking out too much, try to get them to make contact, and they come back up, and they never have that same power. But every now and then you see that. A little Pena with the Zobrist. Pena's, though, was just, remarkable. He was hitting pop-ups that just didn't come down. He gone. Fourth strikeout for Johnny.
Danks' cutter tonight has been outstanding. See that ball looking just like a fastball. AJ wants it as close to the ground as he can get it. The ball explodes late, which is the secret to any effective pitch, the late movement. And he had Zobrist swinging over the top of it.
Here's Longoria. He struck out his first trip. One and one to count to the 24-year-old. He is the face of the organization. He said, I recognize it and I welcome it.
I watched him in the Arizona Fall League, and it was evident that he was ready to play Major League Baseball, but they sent him down. Didn't want to start the clock ticking too quickly. Then, miraculously, he signed a 7-year contract. Next day, was in the big league.
He gone. Good changeup, down and away. That's 8 in a row retired by Danks.
Bloomberg Sports, a leader in data analysis, has developed an analytical product being used by the clubs. There's also a product for fans. Improve your fantasy play or track your favorite players and teams. Go to BloombergSports.com for details.
Go Hawks. A lot of Hawks jerseys in attendance tonight.
Well, they came back with a big win. Now they have to go to Nashville, take a couple, come back and wrap it up.
And here's Konerko. Paulie, an RBI double in the first inning. Off the right field fence. Takes a breaking ball strike from the 6'6" southpaw. They only have 2 hits. They only have 1. And that breaking pitch chopped over by the Sox dugout. First of a 3-game set. Tomorrow night, Mark Burley against Wade Davis. That game will be over at WCIU Channel 26. Thursday, Jake Peavy against James Shields. That ball hit hard but foul. And that game will be over. The Mayor, Mean Joe Group's favorite channel, Comcast Sportsnet +2.
He promises us that he's going to be able to find it.
Well, I told him to bring his cash.
He is a satellite maven.
He's awesome. Change up. The highest I've seen him touch is 97. Have you seen him over
No,
there?
97 has been it, which is plenty. Especially if he gets that breaking ball over the plate occasionally.
There it is again.
Ball turned around on those 97s and crushed it down the line, but well fouled.
Texas leading Boston 6-2. Bottom of the 6th at Fenway.
Well, those Red Sox are really struggling. If you look at some of those averages, wow.
And there's a base hit for Jeanette Rosich, and Gene Smith picked to click. He's clicking tonight. 2 for 2.
Boy, that was a terrific at bat by Paul Konerko. He battled them, looked at some breaking balls, fouled them off, took the ball down the line, fouled it off, and finally got one low and out over the plate and took it right back up the middle.
And here's Andrew. Jones popped up to Upton in center. Takes it down low.
Henry's looking for one of those fastballs, but he'd like it down a little further than he saw it the first time up.
And that's a base hit. That a boy. Andrew. First 2 men aboard here in the bottom of the 4th.
Upton threw it over the head of Zobrist. For some reason, thinking he could get Paul Konerko at second base. Paul wasn't taking a big lead. And he was very fortunate that this one didn't wind up in the dugout. Gets it right by a diving Bartlett. Now he picks it up and fires it over the head of Zobrist. Not a particularly smart play.
So here is AJ. AJ struck out, called out on what appeared to be a bad pitch. Now he's going to bunt. And look at this. Longoria, nice play. Sacrifice, 5-4 on a beautiful bunt by Pierzynski.
Good job by AJ as he moves the base runners along. Now, if you're Joe Madden, I'm thinking you're going to put Rios at first. Good effort by Longoria. He's very smooth down there. It's real good execution. This is a perfect bunt. You see Navarro, he actually calls the play because it's in front of him. And he left Longoria with only one play.
All in one motion right there. Perfect play. So now they're going to go ahead and put Rios on, understandably so, because he tripled in the second inning to right center.
This is where Martin has to come through with a big hit.
Bell last time up, he flied to left field. We'll take the same thing this time.
Yeah, that was far enough for Paul to score.
So that'll load him up. Sacks packed with Sox. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. As we lead it 2-1. First pitch always big in this scenario. And that's ball 1. Big difference to a hitter in his frame of mind, especially when you've been struggling.
Now you can sit back and look for a fastball.
Gives you a little calmness, a little peace of mind. And a good check, and the count 2-0. Now he's got the catbird seat. This is where that 97-mile-an-hour fastball to the eye of the hitter. Which are the real guns? That 97-mile-an-hour fastball on the 2-0, 3-1 count is not quite as quick. There was one at 95, up a little bit. Best way in the world to shorten up middle to high 90s fastball is get 2-0, 3-1. High, and that's going to be short. That's not going to get the job done. So Konerko stays there, and there's 2 outs.
That time he fell behind, but he just overpowered Tien with a fastball on 2-1. Support your Chicago White Sox by becoming a season ticket holder. The White Sox Aussie plan features 13 games, including Cubs Series tickets, leaving the rest up to you. Prices vary depending on selected seat category and game choices. For details, visit whitesox.com or call 312-674-1000.
So it's up to Alexei. Takes that breaking ball upstairs. Short and quick, Alexei. And that's popped up. Get back and out of here.
Right off the screen. Romero coming back, measuring it, thinking he's got enough room.
You see our buddy down there push that screen out a little bit before he got there.
It's the M&M coat that did it.
I love M&Ms.
Me too.
I know you do. Bartlett's got him, backhands now the peg in time, so the Sox have a golden opportunity to pad their lead. Can't do it. Bases loaded, one out, and they leave them right there. That's the story as you check out our Comcast Sportsnet Plus tail of the tape. Top of the fifth. Pena, Upton, and Burrell to face Johnny Danks. Breaking ball.
Text Subway to 53695. If you're the 500th texter, you could win $5 footlongs from Subway.
Pena walked starting off the second inning. And the count quickly 0-2. God damn. Heat him upstairs. Outfield spread out, bit of a gap out there in left center. Teeing way off the line at third. And the count evens at 2.
He tries twice to throw high fastballs by him. And Pena lays off both of them.
So you add him 0-2, it is now full. He gone.
Change up to a lefty. You don't see it often, but when you do, it's very effective. And Pena certainly wasn't looking for it.
6 strikeouts for Danks. And here's Upton. He saw 3 pitches and grabbed some bench. There's strike 1.
John is pulling down that changeup and dying it away from the right-hand hitters. He is really tough. And going along with that cutter, right-handers don't have a whole lot of luck with it.
2-2 the count. He gone. Another changeup.
You establish the inside part of the plate with the cutter and go away with the straight change. And he had Upton, just like Pena before him, well out in front of it.
Here's the DH, Pat Burrell. Takes ball 1 inside. He went out to left field. That last year at 221, 14 homers and drove in 64. 33-year-old veteran. Nice pick on the backhand, a nice peg. And that is 11 in a row retired by Danks. We're halfway home leading 2-1.
Here's our AT&T trivia question with the answer. What Rays player is the all-time franchise leader in games played? Drum roll, please. Not surprisingly, Carl Crawford. 1,095 games as a Ray partially and initially a Devil Ray.
Juan Pierre is grounded to short and grounded to third. Takes ball 1 upstairs. Outfielder short, swung around to the left. Count evens at 1. First of a 3-game set, first of a 6-game homestand. Make your plans to be with us here at beautiful US Cellular Field. 2 more left with these Rays and Seattle over the weekend. Tomorrow, Mark Burley against Wade Davis. And that's low. And there's the strike. 2-2.
Crawford isn't quite as shallow in left field as we've seen guys play Pierre.
Longoria.
Visit the official online shop of the Chicago White Sox. You can browse a larger selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source. Shop at www.whitesox.com. Accept no substitutes.
Gordon Beckham takes strike 1. Gordon has fouled out to right, and he hit a little nubber out in front of the mound. Deanna Navarro got out there and threw him out. Big hack in the count 0-2. Two down.
That was a terrific, hard-breaking slider. Gordon has very little chance on this one as that ball just bites down and in.
That's going to get a lot of them, young man.
Yeah.
So just tip your cap and get him next time.
Well, the spin was so tight he couldn't pick up the fact that it was a breaking ball, and then it just disappeared.
Carlos has walked and scored and struck out. Curveball misses. That walk coming with 2 out back in the first inning, and he scored on Konerko's double off the wall and right. Got a pretty good breaking ball to hit right there and couldn't do anything with it. And that's outside. Just tuning in, D-Rays have had 2 botched relay plays. Back in the first, if they make a good relay, they got an excellent chance of getting Quentin home. And then they botched the one in the second. After Rios tripled, they threw it into the camera well. The 3-1. Pull the string on it. Took something off that fastball. His changeup, that one was at 90. His high has been 97, so he's changing speeds on his fastball.
The other guy that does that as well as anybody is CC Sabathia. Makes his fastball 3 different pitches.
And that's ball 4. Well, let's have a redo of the first inning. Well, you did that on your curveball.
Well, I had to because I couldn't throw a changeup, so that became my changeup. But
why couldn't you throw a change?
I tried everything, Hoss. I tried everything. I tried every grip you could try. No, because for some reason I couldn't get the idea of the same arm velocity from the same release point, and then do whatever it is that you do in your hand to get it to go what the good guys who throw it do. So I did it by moving it back in my hand with the curveball.
Breaking ball strike to Konerko, who has doubled in a run and also singled. He started off that 4th inning Hit a good pitch low and away back through the middle sharply.
He's had 2 great at bats, and it couldn't have come at a better time because this is a real tough left-hander.
There's that changeup. Now that one was at 84. So he's varying anywhere from 84 to 86. We've seen on the change to 90, and running that fastball up there to 95, 96, and 97. That breaking ball. So with 2 out, Price on top of Paulie 1 and 2. And Erico now 4 for 5 lifetime off Price. That ball hammer, but foul.
It's very much a similar at bat when he had the base hit last inning. Fouled a few balls off to the left, stayed alive, spoiled some good pitches, had a very patient at bat, and eventually won the battle with a base hit up the middle.
Outfield really spread out, but there is a nice gap in left center. Fighting off a pretty good 96-mile-an-hour fastball right there. And that's into right field. Soft fly ball. And that'll retire the side. We'll go to the 6th. It is a 2-1 White Sox lead. Johnny Danks. That one hit coming by Carl Crawford. A long home run on the first pitch that Crawford saw. Fastball up and in. Has 7 strikeouts. Takes that one just off the plate, does Navarro. Navarro went out to Pierre in left. 2-0 the count. Outfield playing him just about straight away. Come back and get him. No walks. 4 in a row. The dreaded leadoff walk.
Sunday, April 25th, it's White Sox versus the Mariners. You can join the White Sox and celebrate Kids Day, Dia del Nino. Festivities includes an autograph session for kids, inflatable bounce house, caricature artists, face painters, and much more. For tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit www.whitesox.com.
That'll bring up Gabe Kapler, who popped up to Ramirez. First pitch strike. Van Neslo. Certainly our heartfelt wishes and condolences go out to the family and friends and the organization, the Colorado Rockies, of Kelly McGregor, president of the Rockies, who passed away today at the age of 48.
So that was shocking.
That was really shocking. I mean, he was a big guy, NFL end. I never met Kelly. We passed by each other a couple of times, but they tell me he was just a wonderful person.
I met him, talked to him a number of times in Colorado, and he was a football guy that found a home in baseball.
Get foul. It will. Thank you very much.
That one hugged the line all the way down. The only question is, would it hook at the last instant? And Rob drank on the line, and fortunately, it was just foul.
So the count 1-2. And that is just foul as well. Close.
He missed a home run and a double by inches. So now it's about time to strike him out on a straight change.
Outfield spread out, slightly to the left, bit of a gap in left center. Navarro has not attempted a stolen base this season. Ground ball off the end of the bat. Goes throw and gets by Canerco.
Fortunately, that one hits the railing, doesn't go into the dugout. That was a slowly hit ball. That would have been very tough to turn to, but Navarro got down on top of Beckham in a hurry. Gordon goes up and over. Might have been able to get him at first.
I thought they were going to get him. He didn't get much on the throw because that ball was slowly hit, and then Navarro gave him a couple of little steps to get down there. So here is Bartlett. Meanwhile, it was a good changeup.
Very good changeup.
Bartlett has struck out and grounded out to third. Tien made a good play on it, and Paulie made a good pick.
Kepler has yet to attempt a stolen base. Still have a hard time understanding that quick jump and fake. of a stolen base attempt because you've got no momentum once you take that big jump and stop.
Lob set by Danks. Boston trying to get back in that game. They trail Texas 6-4. Bottom of the 7th at Fenway. A lot of action now on the West Coast tonight. Minnesota leading Cleveland 5-1. Bottom of the 5th at Target Field. Big hack at the change, and the count 1-1. Seems like we're the only team that Cleveland has any success against.
Well, you would think that Masterson would have his problems with the Twins because he's a side-wheeling right-hander, and they've got some power-hitting left-hander.
Johnny and the Sox. AJ looking over in the dugout to get the pickoff signs. Well, for a guy who's not attempted a stolen base this year, Kepler has decent speed. But the one thing about it is you don't want to. Johnny's been in a terrific rhythm.
That time he used the slide step. He didn't go with the leg kick. That's the lifetime record it gave Kepler. Not what you would consider a premier base steal, but not bad.
No, that percentage is about commensurate with his speed. Yep. When he first came up with the Tigers, boy, they thought he was Jack Armstrong. They thought he was going to be 40-40 guy. Two and two.
Well, I could see this much attention for Ricky Henderson in his prime.
And that's high into left field. One back on the track. That's a just missed him for Bartlett.
AJ is out there now to talk with John Danks about what they want to do with Crawford. Now, Crawford has been locked and loaded for the first pitch each time. The first inning, he got a first ball fastball up and out over the plate, and he cranked it. When he got him in the fourth, he threw him a little slider on the first pitch, and he fouled it off.
That was Tampa Bay's 16th homer. That's the number that our Sox have, 16. That's a fair ball. And that's a base hit.
And not a bad idea because as John Danks went over toward the line and he was the only person who could make the catch, he had no angle at all. The only thing he could do was throw it away at that point. Crawford has tremendous speed. And as John comes over, just put it in your pocket and try to get Zobrist.
Zobrist has bounced back to Danks and struck out. Bounced back on a changeup, and the strikeout was on a good cutter. One and 0.
If you actually got to that ball a little more quickly, you could take a look and see where Crawford was, and if he was inside that line, you could throw it, hit him in the back, and get the out because he was out of the baseline. But he couldn't get to the ball quickly enough to even do that.
No, he made the right play.
Absolutely. Here comes pitch number 91.
Now, if that was Spanky LaValliere, that's a different story.
Or Spanky McFarland.
So you know the count with Longoria on deck.
That's not something you want to do.
Well, again, you know, when you throw over there that many times, especially if your guy's in a good rhythm, there's a chance they can take it right out of it. There's a strike. You still got to get to hitters. I don't care who's on first. And that's tough foul. There's a change up. So 2 out, full count. And then at first and second. See if they double him up. Changeup. He gone. And Danks pitches out of it. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. He leads it 2-1.
Here's our Comcast high-defining moment. No, it's not the French fries. It's the straight chain. John Danks going to Ben Zobrist. Doubles him up with the straight change and gets out of a very tough inning.
Jones, Pierzynski, and Rios to face David Price. Backdoors him with a breaking ball and the count 0-1. Andrew has gone out to center, and he is singled sharply back to the middle. And that sinker catches the strike. 0-2. Barrow to the inside. High and deep to left field. Crawford looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes. Sox lead it 3-1.
Well, we talked about Jones looking for the ball down. First time up, he threw high fastballs and threw it by him. But here in the sixth, he got a fastball down on an 0-2 count, 392 of them. And this one gives the Sox a 2-run lead, a towering home run by Andruw Jones.
Well, here's A.J. takes first pitch strike. A.J. was called out on strikes, and then back in the fourth inning with Konerko and Jones aboard, nobody out, lay down a beautiful sacrifice bunt, third base line. And there's a base hit, breaking ball.
You're taught to keep the ball down, but sometimes when you do, it doesn't work out well. He kept the ball down to Jones. It went out of the ballpark. He kept that slider down to A.J., and he took it right over the head of Pena.
And, of course, with that home run by Jones, the Alex Nelius family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox homer hit throughout the course of the season. That is number 17, so $1,700 donated by Alex Nelius in loving memory of Ursula. Alex, we're glad to hear you're feeling better, buddy.
Here's our Ford home run replay. 0-2 pitch, a little too much of the plate. It was right there, right in the wheelhouse, and Andrew no stranger to that one. So that looks like it's going to be it for David Price. Joe Madden out there talking with Joe West. Hasn't made a decision yet. He wants to talk to Joe about something, and that's going to be it.
All right, so David Price departs. We'll be back. You to catch exciting, awesomely exciting playoff action live. Text playoffs to B-Hawks. That's 242-957 to join Blackhawks Mobile and be entered to win 2 tickets to a Blackhawks home playoff game. No purchase necessary. Message and data rates apply.
Grant Balfour comes into the game, so David Price will go 5+ innings. Balfour on for the 6th time. ERA, fine 142. Left-handers have hurt him. Right-handers have done nothing with it. This has been a very good pitching staff for the Rays so far.
So here we go. 1 in, 1 on, nobody out. And here's Alex. Rios has tripled. and was walked intentionally back in the 4th inning. First pitch strike. And the count evens at 1. First of a 3-game set, first of a 6-game homestand. Finish it off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Mariners. So make your plans to be with us. And tomorrow night, Mark Burley against Wade Davis, big 6'5" right-hander. Can't make it to the ballpark. That game will be over WCIU. On Thursday, Jake Peavy against James Shields, and that game over Comcast Sportsnet +2. Two and 1 the count. AJ just a short lead. Made a good pitch on him. They made another good pitch on him.
Alex just got outguessed with that one. Organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during the 2010 season. Purchase a block of tickets or enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. The more tickets you order, the more money you save. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Here's Tien. 0 for 2 twice. He's gone out to Crawford and left. Mets shut out the Cubs 4-0 in New York. The Aussie, Grant Balfour, checking that sign. Smashed, bobbled, and AJ goes in hard just in case. 2 down.
Nice effort by Bartlett because that ball was a 1-hop rocket. The short hop ate him up. He didn't panic. He stayed with it and was able to get it to Zobrist just in time.
So here's Alexei. He's gone out to center and grounded to short. And that's chop foul. Toronto beats Kansas City 4-3 up at the Rogers Center. Count evens at 1 to Ramirez. Juan Pierre on deck. Sox, if you're just tuning in, 3 runs on 6 hits, no errors. Tampa Bay 1 run on 2 hits and 1 error. Tampa Bay, that home run by Crawford in the first, and the Sox picked up 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the 6th.
Sergio Santos loosening up in the pen. John Danks has had a brilliant 6, but the pitches have piled up on him.
The ball into right field. He was playing shallow, but he gets back there. Does Kapler makes the catch. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 7th. It is 3-1 good guys. Evan Longoria. He'll be followed by Pena and Upton here in the top of the 7th inning. Longoria twice has struck out. Takes first pitch. Fastball strike. And that's the one away.
He's been able to establish just enough of the inside part of the plate to throw that straight change away, and here it comes again.
Ian backs up, now guns over, and pulls him off the bag. So it'll be an error.
Well, the first part of this was good because Martin had to give some ground on this long hop. He has time. Throws it well off the bag, and Paul does what you're supposed to do. Your first responsibility, get the ball.
Ian picks up his 3rd error, and here's Pena. He has walked and struck out. All right, Johnny, you got a bogey neck right here, buddy. Pitch over. And that's popped up, playable. Tien calling off AJ.
Prorated White Sox season ticket plans are on sale now. Full season, weekday, and weekend plans offer the best seat locations at the lowest prices with the most benefits. Call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. That's a big first out.
Here's Upton. Twice he has struck out. And this should be. Take your time, boys. You got plenty of it. And rack him up. 7th inning stretch. Danks pitches over the arrow. Juan Pierre will lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th. 3-1 White Sox. First of 3 games set.
Be a nice time to put a couple more insurance runs up. John Danks has been overpowering in 7 innings, giving up just 2 hits.
And one of them a little swinging bunt single down the first baseline. The other a long home run, both by the same guy. Crawford.
There's a good young baseball fan supporting his Hawks.
And why not?
It's a great night for some cold ice cream.
It's a great night for a Sox victory and a Hawk victory. That ball hit hard.
Don't miss your chance to play catch on the field at Family Field Day, Saturday, May 15th, and shop for great White Sox memorabilia at the annual garage sale. Proceeds benefit White Sox charities. Space is limited, so for more information, visit www.whitesox.com.
Say, I like Juan Pierre. I never had known him up until he joined us this year. I knew Ozzie really thought the world of him, as Beckham can't get it. Gordon 0 for 3. And just watching him throughout spring training and watching him here through the season, you know, you can tell a lot about a guy when the club is going poorly like we've been. When you're 4-9 and you're expected to win your division, a lot of guys are unmasked, so to speak.
Yeah, it's easy to be a good winner.
Exactly. Juan is, no alibis with him. He has hit the ball a heck of a lot better than his average would show. Right at guys. He killed that last ball right there to Zobrist.
Well, I've known Juan for a long time, and I have never known him one time ever, whether it be in the field, on the base paths, or at bat, to give you anything less than everything he had. And he's a prolific worker. He's a guy that I'm sure has lost a step, but he still makes contact and still gives you tough at-bats.
2 down. There's a lifetime 301 hitter coming in this year. Well, we've had a couple of guys that their numbers really don't indicate how well they swung the bats, and certainly Juan Pierre is one of them, and Alex Rios is the other. Alex has really hit the ball hard.
One guy who has hit the ball hard and does have the numbers to show for it is Andrew Jones, who can make a huge difference in this team.
Well, as we talked about at Sox Fest, to me, Andrew was going to had a chance to be one of the keys to this ball club's success this year. Because nobody had seen him except Ozzie, and Ozzie, of course, is going to tell you exactly like it is, whether you like it or not. And he said he saw Andrew. He looks great. He's in good shape. And when he walked in spring training, I tell you, I just couldn't believe how good a shape he was. I didn't realize he was that big. He's a big man.
Well, he also came in with something to prove after some very, very bad years. You know, he was one of the most feared players who could turn a game around with his speed on the bases, certainly with his defense, because 10 Gold Gloves will tell you that he was as good as there was in center field. But he just let things slip away for a bit, and still at 32 years old, he's still got a lot of play left.
A 1-2-3 inning for Balfour, and we'll go to the 8th.
said yet.
All right, Mark. Top of the 8th inning. First pitch, line down to 10. Softly makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. Burrell now 0 for 3. As the Sox on top by 2. 3-6-1 for our guys. 1-2-1 for their guys.
Martin is shading the line, and that's exactly where the ball is hit.
Downer Navarro has gone out to left, and he has walked. First pitch strike.
It's pitch number 103 for John Danks.
And the count 0-2. Still a 5-1 Minnesota lead over Cleveland. That game in the bottom of the 7th in Minneapolis. Starting off the 2K10 season, Twins not having quite as much trouble with their new ballpark as a lot of people forecasted.
Well, that park actually was made for them with that right field and all their left-hand hitters.
When you got to remember one thing, as we talked about a Sox Fest. If you've got a good ball club, you can play Metrodome, you can play Target Field, you can play O'Hare Airport, you can play anywhere.
It's true.
That's up high.
The only surprise in that whole team has nothing to do with any of those hitters. It's the fact that John Roush is 6 for 6 in save situations.
Got time. 2 down.
Enjoy a day at U.S. Cellular Field with family and friends. Tickets for the Chicago White Sox 2010 season are now on sale. For tickets, visit www.whitesox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME. John Danks has been something special here tonight, because this has been a red-hot Tampa team. They've run into a 25-year-old on a mission.
Well, how about last time he was out? He went 7 innings, giving up 1 run on 2 hits against the Blue Jays.
25 years old, Hawk, with the kind of stuff he has, the kind of intestinal fortitude he has, and the type of pitching acumen he has is some combination.
There's a breaking ball strike. Well, and he's got Mark Burrell, mental. And he's got a terrific pitching coach in Don Cooper, so he's taking advantage of Coop and Burley, I'll tell you that. Just got a piece of that one. But he is a bulldog. There is no doubt about that. He's one of those guys, if you're going to beat him, you got to knock him out. He's not going to quit. Count hangs at 0-2. Kapler has popped a short and hit into a 5-4 fielder's choice. But his last time out was the best we've seen him in a long time, keeping that changeup down. Yep.
And he's doing the same thing tonight. Well, if he gets that feeling, he's in very good shape.
A little bit low.
Kapler's 0 for 2, but the last time up, he had a terrific at bat. Just missed a homer, just missed a double before grounding into a force out.
This will be the 115th pitch coming up. He gone. 9 strikeouts for Johnny Danks, and he leads it 3-1. Thursday on Comcast Sportsnet +2, the Sox look to finish strong against the Rays. Don't miss a White Sox Rays Thursday night at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet +2. For a channel location in your area, visit csnchicago.com.
Dan Wheeler coming into the game. Wheeler with no record, but with a 2.08 ERA on for the 6th time. 4 1/3 innings total. Brent Balfour did a nice job in relief of David Price.
Retired everybody he saw.
Did that.
We need 1 or 2 more. Paulie, Jones, and AJ. Paulie started us off right in that first inning with 2 out. Quentin walked, and then he drove him in with a double off the right field fence. And he singled to start off the 4th. He's 2 for 3. There's a strike to even the count at 1.
Bobby Jenks getting ready in the pen.
Rays in their 9th inning, it'll be the top of the order. Bartlett, Crawford, Zobrist, Longoria, the 4th hitter. Here's a breaking ball. A rapper. And Wheeler. At one point, if you're going to throw a breaking pitch, you got to wrap it someplace. Some guys you can see it, some guys you can't. That ball hit deep in left center field. Stretch. Crawford looks up. You can put it on the ball. Yes. Yes. Number 5 for Paulie. And the Sox lead it 4-1. Mercy.
Second run batted in tonight on his 3rd hit. And a triple shy of a cycle. I don't think he's going to get that opportunity. It's Dan Wheeler, who wrapped the last pitch, forgot to wrap this one. And Paulie took it out. First home run that Wheeler's given up this year. Second the Sox have hit tonight.
So here's Andrew. He's 2 for 3. There's a breaking ball.
Here's our 4th home run replay. It's a fastball right down the middle. Just about belt high and in a perfect spot to hit out of the ballpark.
Another breaking ball. Took something off that one. Big sweeper. And a count 0-2. Off that curveball. 4-7-1 for our Sox. 1-2-1 for their Rays. He just missed that one. High, towering fly ball into center field. Upton.
Navarro wanted a fastball up. He gave him the fastball sign and then elevated his glove. He got fortunate because he didn't get it up high enough, not as high as he wanted. You see where Navarro's setting up. And he's fortunate that Andrew just got under it.
So here's AJ. He's 1 for 2. His base hit that knocked David Price out of the ball game back in the 6th inning. That is popped up left side. Bartlett calling off Longoria. 2 down.
We'll show you the U.S. Cellular text results up to the moment. Well, we won't tell you. We're going to hold it in abeyance.
For the pitch?
Yes.
As here is Alex. He's 1 for 2 at triple. And that's a high, towering pop-up. Bartlett.
Longoria's a bigger guy, and he just shoves him away. Get out of here.
But the home run by Konerko will go to the 9th, leading 4-1.
Square pants.
Get the best Chicago sports news nightly on Sports Night, presented by Dex. Coming up tonight at 11, Blackhawks in Nashville for Game 3, and Bulls regroup at home before taking on Cleveland Thursday night. So join Mark Janowski and Kip Lewis for Sports Night, presented by Dex, tonight and every night at 11, only on Comcast Sportsnet, fans' best friend.
Bobby Jenks comes into this one after an outstanding performance by John Danks. So Bobby looking for save number 3. ERA 180 on for the 6th time.
And here's Bartlett. Takes first pitch strike. Well, Johnny Danks' last 2 starts, he's worked 15 innings, giving up 2 runs on just 4 hits in 15 innings. He's walked 5 and has 15 strikeouts. Cutter outside, and the count 1-1. Bartlett has struck out. Gone out to third and gone out deep to left. That fastball at 96 and the count 1-2.
Bobby's got his fastball back. Not particularly good numbers for Jason Bartlett against Bobby Jenks.
Trying to take care of him right there with that hook. Two and 2 the count. Bobby trying to nail it down for Danks. And a full count. No walks, Bobby. Hale. And Bartlett just does get a little piece of it. Once again, a reminder tomorrow, Mark Burley tomorrow night against Wade Davis. So if you can't make it to the ballpark, that game will be over WCIU Channel 26. To Hopper. Low throw. Stayed in the air. Probably did not have to pick it. One out. Big out.
Harold Crawford's had a very good night. The only guy that's had a good night.
He has both their hits, a homer and an infield single. Swinging bunch single. First pitch strike for the 28-year-old. And the count 0-2.
And Bobby just tied him up inside with that fastball.
Threw it right underneath his hands. Tried to backdoor him with a curveball. Switch hitting second baseman. Ben Zobrist on deck. And the 1-2 pitch. Changeup. Sox, if you're just tuning in, those 4 runs on 7 hits. Tampa Bay got the home run from Crawford in the first inning. Then Sox came back and tied it in the first. And they just did get a piece of that. Added another one in the second. And then homers by Jones and Konerko in the 6th and 8th. Winder is 4th. For Paulie, his 5th. From the windup. Curveball, good one. Got to hurry. Another infield hit from the speedy Crawford.
That was a good curveball by Bobby Jenks. Unfortunately, with Crawford going up the line, you can't play overly deep. Gordon Beckham did everything he could on this, including a diving throw, and still couldn't get it there in time.
So they're going to play behind Crawford. And here's Zobrist as Crawford will go ahead and going into second base. That will not be a stolen base. Zobrist for 3. He's bounced back to Danks, then struck out a couple of times. There's a ground ball that's foul. Zobrist, who was born in Eureka, Illinois. And that's inside. And that pitch fouled away as Crawford was on the move. There he goes again. He gone. 2 down.
Bobby throws his changeup, has him well out in front of it. When you're throwing 96, that changeup looks a whole lot more effective.
Longoria 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of strikeouts and reached on an error. Chopper down to 10. Long peg, yes, and this ball game is over. So the Sox break the losing streak, and they break Tampa Bay's 7-game winning streak as Johnny Danks was just, again, outstanding.
Johnny Danks threw the ball as well as you could possibly throw it. The offense was just enough, a couple of home runs, and then Bobby Jenks came on for save number 3. All is well as we start this 6-game homestand.
And let's check out our GMC player of the game. 25-year-old southpaw, just turned 25. Johnny Danks, as I mentioned, last 15 innings, he has given up just 2 runs on just 4 hits, 5 walks, and has 15 strikeouts. Our GMC player of the game. So for my partner, Steve Stone, for our Hall of Fame director, Jim Angio, our producer, John Walburn, our associate producer, Kat Leisig, our technical manager, Mark Harper. The executive producer is Jim Corno Jr. For the mayor, Mean Joe Groove, the man who runs the booth up here. Also, Dave Chella, Frank D'Amato, Jeff Hilbert. This is a Hawk. So long, everybody.